Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome once again to another live stream. As the keener-eyed amongst you will notice, a lady who often appears on some of the property live streams I do, Michellle Carr, guardian angel of construction. Today she's just plain old Michellle because she's going to tell us why she does what she does. What is the driving force behind what she does? And it's not what you think. It's not just simply to make money. She's about trying to help the contractor, which is in many ways a beleaguered force in the construction profession. Michellle, welcome once again. It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
Thank you. Very kind. Now, what the hell is all this? Why is there a need for what you do? What is a guardian angel of construction? Tell me more.
So, as I'm sure you're aware, well, I know you're aware, there are a lot of unscrupulous characters, should we say, within the construction industry.
Yeah.
They are far and wide. They are everywhere. And basically, I saw that this isn't right. I've never really liked it. I've never agreed with it. I've walked away from a number of clients, employers, etc., because what they wanted me to do was against my morals. And rather than doing nothing about it and just doing what I could in my environment or in whatever project I was working on, I've decided to offer that service to support other people. And to be fair, although my target market was subcontractors, I'm also helping main contractors, developers, individuals. So I can help anybody basically that wants to be protected from nasty people in construction.
So when we say nasty people in construction, what are they? Are we saying they're the clients, or what are they? So
they can be the clients, they can be main contractors, they can just be a QS with a bad attitude. A lot of the people I end up going up against are other QSs that either
you're a fully trained QS yourself.
I am, yes.
So you recognize this, I guess, from afar.
Yeah. So one of the things that I find is, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, although I do keep my feet firmly on the ground, a lot of QSs are overworked. I'm not going to say they're underpaid because they're not, but most of them are overworked. The quality of QSs in this country is really poor, partially because most people that are trained to do a QS degree
Shots fired. Shots fired. The quality of QS in this country is really poor.
It is, yeah, because most of them, 2009, when I qualified, lots of the people doing QS degrees there were foreign nationals, and a lot of people that train as a QS in this country don't stay here. A lot of the decent QSs are out in the Middle East, and I've met senior QSs that have been qualified for 3 years. It's just impossible to have the experience in 3 years to be a senior QS, a decent one. So I was educated quite differently. I worked for my dad, which was really hard. I was not the princess by any stretch of the imagination.
First things first, what did your dad do that made you want to work with him?
Well, my dad had a main contractor. So my QS thing started when I was about 10, doing takeoffs in his office and school holidays and cheap childcare. He actually got me working in the QS department. And I'm going to be meeting up with the woman I learned from in the next couple of months. We've not seen each other for years, but that's a different story. So yeah, that's how I started. I then tried traveling. I did a bit of sales, I did a bit of this, and then I came back and from traveling and living in Tenerife for a couple of years. And my dad went, I need an accountant, I need a QS, what do you want to do? And I thought accountancy was boring, although it's not now. And so I chose to go to university and do a degree in QS as a quantity surveyor. So that's where I started. But I've met a lot of people that aren't particularly good. I've met some great QSs, don't get me wrong, some really incredible ones that I've learned from. I've also done a lot of project management. So I have 2 companies now for insurance purposes primarily. Otherwise, it was going to cost me 5 times as much in insurance for my PI, etc. So I have H2 Construction that does commercial management and project management, which...
hang on, first of all, I'm going to humanize this a little bit. Why is it called H2 Construction?
So it's called H2, the honest truth, it's called H2 Construction because my sons are Harrison and Hudson, and I originally set up the business for my husband, and I started trading through it to give him trading history, and then he never took it over. So it's carried on being H2. But I like it, so I've stuck with it. I toyed a number of things to and from, but I'm stuck with H squared, and things about ultimately H2 is hydrogen, and two hydrogen atoms coming together makes it stable.
I think it's a lovely name, and the fact they're twins as well also is rather quaint.
Exactly, and they're identical. So that's that. They're obviously my why, the reason I'm doing this. And then Construction Alchemy is a management consultancy company. So H squared does project management, commercial management. I wouldn't say I say standard, but there's nothing standard about me. But that's that company. And then Construction Alchemy is a management consultancy primarily for subcontractors, where basically I take your company, and where it's not performing, I help you perform. When you're not making money, but you're getting the projects in, or you're not making the money that you're supposed to be making. And so you take your business and theoretically, as an alchemist, make it better.
So the purpose of Construction Alchemy is improvement. It's improvement and help, yes?
Yeah.
Whereas H2 would be effectively a contractor when
H2 actually at the moment, most of my clients are subcontractors through H2 as well. So I offer both services, and some clients will pay one company, the other will pay both. It depends on how it works, so that everything's bespoke. So basically the purpose of both companies is commercial protection. So making sure that they are protected. So in H squared, reviewing contracts, making sure you've got systems and processes in place, making sure the valuations are done properly. But also I bring some of Construction Alchemy in because it's training your team how to do things properly, or I do them myself or my team do. So I either train you and your team how to do things properly through Construction Alchemy, or I deliver it properly through H squared, and that depends on each client. So I make sure your contracts are right. I make sure your valuations are going in properly. I make sure that you have everything to make sure that the project runs smoothly. And through both companies, and how I do that is kind of up to me. The client never has to worry about how it's delivered.
So from the client perspective, what do they see?
So from the client's perspective, one of the reasons I'm now going through as Michellle Carr rather than each individual company is because the clients are getting confused with which project they need. They just come to me with their problem or what they want, and then I deliver it through either company, and I come up with proposals and say, I think I can do this and I can do this. They get two separate proposals from two separate companies if they want to, or one. It doesn't matter. It depends on the needs and the wants of the client. This is what I'm going to deliver, or like a checklist. Yeah. And then they'll come back to me saying, yes, we want this, yes, we want that. And then I do all the formal side of it, and I'm the port of call. Eventually, some of my clients then deal directly with one of my team, but initially it's me, it's all me, and they just have one protocol, and it's like some of them even just one invoice on a monthly basis. And yeah, we take it from there. So they don't have to worry about the intricacies, because it's very hard for me to just be one or the other, because I will automatically help people when I can. And even if it's a H squared client, if I can help them with their business improving or a bit of marketing or whatever it may be, I'm always going to.
So describe to me the ideal circumstance that you would be able to step into and make immediate improvements to.
So if there's a contract, if a project's in trouble, I can help, but it's stressful, and I'd rather not help at that emergency level where it's
you've got a bit of preparation rather than
yeah. So one of my clients actually is my landlord upstairs, came to me and said, I've got this problem. He was expecting a £75,000 payment the day before it was due to be paid, just before we broke up for Christmas. They cancelled the payment, give him a nil. Where do I stand? He was panicking, and he was like, oh, he's my landlord. He's like, I'm going to pay you. I was like, don't worry about that. Let's have a look. Had a look at the contract. Anyway, basically, long story short, they weren't in a proper contract. He told me this is back in December, obviously, got them into contract, got the main contractor was a big company, into contract, explaining that actually the contract that was written wasn't worth anything because it totally contradicted itself. Got on a decent contract, and he told me this morning that they've just picked up another £1.2 million contract from the same client. I mean, he got additional prelims, he got everything, so everything was safe, secure, everyone was happy, the project's gone brilliantly, everyone's happy.
Did he get his 75,000?
Oh yeah, he got the 75,000, and he got an extra
Amazing.
90,000, an extra 90,000 pounds worth of profit by the time I'd finished. And yeah, he's now just picked up another contract with the same client and potentially maintenance contract. Like, it's gone from no one's got a contract, we're all going to fight each other, and it's all going to be really, really nasty, to a beautiful working relationship with everything's running smoothly. So that was an emergency. I've got another. But
you'd rather not be doing that. You'd rather.
Because it's stressful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got another client that's come to me, and they're growing, and they look like they're changing, increasing turnover substantially. So I'm now working with them to make sure that he can go and do his operational side of things, which is absolutely fine. And I'm just making sure that his contracts are in place, his payment certificates are being done on properly and on time. He's then paying everybody else on time. They're getting their applications and making sure that he's protected. We initially got in contact because he's got a new project up north that he wondered if I could help him with. That hasn't even come to fruition, but I'm actually assisting him as what I call a fractional commercial director. So I'm working a couple of days a week or a couple of days a month for him, depending on what's going on. I'm going to establish what his pros and his business are, where his weaknesses are, issue him a report and say, right, we can do this, 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 or this. He's in control. It's always the captain of his ship. I just say, we can do this, we can do that. What do you want to do? And basically setting up his company for growth and to make sure that the team internally are working properly, maybe change the way some of the structure is, how his internal teamwork, that kind of thing. And I don't believe in making people do things because it falls under a job role. Do things that they're good at, work with their strengths, and there's something they don't like doing and they're not doing properly, give it to somebody else who will do it better, that kind of thing. That's where I prefer my clients to be. So I actually protect them, and they never get into the big situations or big disputes. Right. But on the other hand, most of my clients come to me, or have done in the past, when they're in the proverbial. And then I get them out of them, which is great, because they're more than happy to pay my invoices and ever have been, and we live happy ever after, and they refer me and all the rest of it, because I've got them out of a really sticky situation which could bring their business down.
I bet your landlord thinks you're the most perfect tenant ever.
Well, actually, he said to me that somebody else, a new client, had phoned him up and said, "What's this Michellle like?" And she was like, "The bomb. She's mustard. She's brilliant. You will not have any issues." I mean, I need to get him to do definitely need to get him to do a testimonial.
Well, I've put this up on the screen. If you guys want to contact Michellle, this is one of a couple of places to find her, but this is a good place to start, because literally it will tell you a bit more about her. Certainly, I'm proud to call her friend, and she has already worked and is beginning a new working relationship with, well, a couple of my clients, actually. And and there's nothing wrong with that, because I think it's great when we all help each other. But the thing to note, and this is my own personal view, is you work from a point of view, you see a problem, and if you know you can help fix it, you'll want to try and do it. And the commercial side is important, but not as important as try and work out what the ground rules are, what can be done to improve a situation. Ideally, not just at the point before it implodes, i.e. just before Christmas and with a £75,000 debt, but ideally before that time. But, needs must.
But if that's the situation you're in, that's the situation you're in.
Yeah, it's true. You can't help with these things. So, from my mind, you're trying to, at the moment, pull things together for both H2 and Construction Alchemy, or are you focusing really on promoting one rather than the other?
Both, I suppose. At the beginning, I was focusing on Construction Alchemy, but once people come to me with issues that I help with Construction Alchemy, it's then they want to work with H2 because they want me to make sure that I'm delivering everything to my level. And obviously with H2, I have a team, but it's to my standards and I've trained them. So it ends up being a bit of both, to be fair.
Where is that team based?
So we're in Wallington, although my team is expanding to being all over the country at the moment. So sometimes we work remote, sometimes we work from my office. I have a lovely office in Wallington with a nice meeting room and things like that. We will work in here, or sometimes we're around my kitchen table if that suits. But yeah, ultimately, a lot of it is remote. I mean, as you know, Chris is in Liverpool, so that's remote. Although I'm hopefully going up to Liverpool in a couple of weeks. I'll be going up to Liverpool fairly regularly. But yeah, my actual office is based in Wallington.
Look, guys, I hope you found this as educational as I have. I certainly think that, and I'm just going to put this back up again. Hang on, there we go. Do try and find it there. Also, Michellle Carr, or just on Michellle Carr H2 or Michellle Carr Construction on LinkedIn. You should find her pretty quickly there as well. If not, contact her through me, and I'll be more than happy to introduce you. If you want a QS, quantity surveyor, who not just knows her onions, but actually has a heart, a beating heart, and is looking to try and improve your life, not just now, but going forward, then you should at least have a conversation with her. I can see a whole rash of people have been watching us on Twitter. Thank you for that, or X as it's called. Thank you very much. Please watch out. We will be doing fairly regular live streams like this, but until next time, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, find the right people around you that advise you rather than leech off you. I think that's a fairly important note. I know it sounds silly, but there's a lot of people that their opinion is what can we do to build them more. Find people who are wanting to work with you towards a goal that you both share. That's the best thing. If only one of you shares it, then I suspect that's imbalance. Until next time, I wish you all a very successful week, and look after that mental health. Bye-bye now.